Hi everybody, it's Ellen Weatherford.
And Christian Weatherford.
And this is Just the Zoo of Us, your favorite animal review podcast where we rate your favorite animals out of 10 in the categories of effectiveness, ingenuity, and aesthetics.
We are not zoological experts, but we try our best to bring the best information that we can.
You know what we should tell people about?
What's that?
Our visit with Meg last weekend. Up at Deception Pass?
Yes.
So people that have listened to our show for a while might remember a while back we did an episode on cuttlefish with a marine biologist named Meg Mindlin. And Meg just so happens to be working at a marine research laboratory, only just a cool 2-hour drive away from our house.
Yeah.
So we packed up the kids and drove up to Deception Pass and got to visit and see the marine research lab. It was so cool. We got to see the critters and the tanks, and I got to meet a little octopus back there, and the kids found it really cool.
Yeah.
And then we went tide pooling, which was awesome. We got to go flip some rocks. You found some cool creatures.
It did.
Christian has the best tide pooling luck. You always find all the coolest creatures. I don't know what it is. I try so hard. I flip every rock and I never find the cool stuff. You do.
Gotta pick the heaviest rock you can pick up.
Yeah.
The one that looks the most cozy.
Oh, the coziest rock. That's true. But we had a really cool time. It was a nice hike. Got a nice little sunburn. But
Some of us.
Some of us who never didn't put on sunscreen. But it's always really, really cool when I get to meet people that I connected with through making this podcast, and we get to become real life friends. That's always really exciting.
Yeah.
That was just a cool thing that happened that I thought y'all would like to know about. Mm-hmm. We got to meet Meg in real life. So yeah, that's all I really had for right now.
I was also thinking we had gotten some nice podcast reviews.
Oh, would you like to share that?
I can. On Apple reviews, we have 2 recent ones. So one from listener in the U.S. says, review from Charlie, age 6 3/4. I love this show. It's the best animal podcast that I've heard.
Aw, I love that. Thank you, Charlie. Happy upcoming 7th birthday in 1/4 of a year.
And then Beck Yuma writes, 20 out of 10. This show is so great. I truly wish it updated daily.
Okay.
Get on it, Ellen. No, I put that part in. Ellen and Christian are utterly charming. I listen to each episode and then put them on rotation as my falling asleep podcast. I am giddy when a new one drops. Thank you for bringing hobby zoology to us all.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you. What if I cut up each episode into little 10-minute increments and then just dropped them throughout the week?
So much anger, I would imagine.
That wouldn't be annoying at all. Every day, a new cliffhanger. Tune in next day.
Uh-oh, we've gone down to minimum fun.
Oh, I'm so glad you say that, because that gives me a chance to mention that if you want to hear our exclusive bonus content episodes, head over to MaximumFun.org and be a part of supporting our show and make it happen and listen to our bonus content that only you get to hear. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's my turn to go first this week.
Okay. So what animal do you have this week, Ellen?
This week I'm talking about seahorses.
Oh.
Seahorses belong to the genus Hippocampus.
Like the brain?
Yes, like the brain.
Huh.
Isn't that funny? So the region of the brain, the hippocampus, which actually you and I talked about in the last episode that we did together because it's involved in memory storage and memory formation. And there was some really cool stuff going on in the hippocampus of the black-capped chickadee.
Right.
So the hippocampus in the brain is named because in the human brain, it is shaped like a seahorse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The structure is seahorse shaped. So it's called that because of... And the name hippocampus comes from Greek, mythology. Mm-hmm. So the hippo part means horse.
Okay.
I know, we think hippo, we think hippopotamus, and that itself, the name did come from the word for horse,
sure.
Different thing. But the hippo part means horse, and then campus comes from an ancient Greek word for a sea monster. So it's a sea monster horse. And in mythology, Poseidon's chariot was pulled by these kind of horse mermaids that were called hippocampus. They were like front half horse, back half fish.
That's funny. So to fully understand the human anatomy, you would need to have knowledge of
Seahorses.
Well, zoology for seahorses.
Marine biology.
Language.
Yes. Etymology.
And then also anatomy.
Yes. And also mythology. Yeah. Greek mythology.
So if you're missing any one of those. Sorry.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to connect all those dots for you.
Excellent.
So now you know. I thought that was an interesting little etymology. You know, I'm a word nerd.
Sure.
I like to know why we call things what we do. Now, this species was informally submitted by an Instagram commenter, actually. I posted a video like last week or something about oarfish where I was roasting them. Like this was like a full-on roast of oarfish. And I mentioned that on this podcast, I had given them a 4 out of 10. And so Instagram commenter Natator depressus, which is a scientific name, but I don't remember what it was for, but that's what they used for their Instagram handle, said, 4 out of 10. Ma'am, I'm interested. How much do you rate seahorses?
Oh,
and I was like, you know what? That's a good question. How much do I rate seahorses? Just so happens I have a podcast all about it. So that's what I'm doing. Now, if you're not super familiar with seahorses, if you've only ever seen like pictures of them, they're smaller than you probably think they are. They're so little.
Very.
Yeah, so they can be anywhere from about half an inch long to the biggest ones can be over a foot in length.
Really?
Yeah, so they can get kind of big, but not like that big, you know.
And that foot is probably like tip to nose.
Yeah, it's like head to tail. Yeah, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're not that. And they're kind of curled in such a way where like maybe they're a foot from like snout tip to tail tip.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
They have that curly tail usually.
But it curls in such a way where like it's not going to be like the size of your arm or something like that. They're not that big. They're quite little. We've seen them quite a few times in aquaria.
Yes.
And they are found in warm, shallow saltwater all around the world. They really like habitats with lots of shelter, like vegetation or coral reefs. So you could find them in things like mangroves or, you know, reefs, somewhere where there's going to be a lot of stuff around. They like a lot of debris. They like a lot of nooks and crannies. So that's the kind of place where you'd find a seahorse. They belong to the family Cygnathidae, which we've talked about before, actually, because it includes pipefish and sea dragons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you remember the leafy sea dragon?
Can you remind me? Different from seahorse, yes.
Different from seahorse, yes. But it's the one that is like a long, goofy, like weird-looking fish.
Yeah, I remember what it looks like. I guess what I was wanting a refresher on was their relationship to seahorses.
They're just in the same family.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're like kind of related to each other. They're all these wonky-shaped fish.
Okay.
Now, there are over 40 species of seahorse. I'm just going to be kind of talking a little bit generally about all of them. Nothing I'm saying here is super specific to any of them. So to get into my ratings for seahorses, if this is your first time ever listening to this podcast, we rate animals. The first category is effectiveness, which are physical adaptations, ways that the animal's body is adapted to doing the things that they are trying to do and how good they are at doing those things. And I'm giving seahorses a 9 out of 10.
That's very good.
It's very good. They are S-shaped. They're kind of a squiggle, which is fun and a deviation from the typical fish sort of blueprint. And they do swim upright, so they're kind of like perpendicular. They're holding themselves perpendicular with the horizon, which is where you kind of expect most fish to be aligned. And they propel themselves forward mostly with their dorsal fin, which is the fin on their back. Now, this is similar to the oarfish. And to be fair, I graded the oarfish very harshly for doing this exact thing. I did kind of drag the oarfish for doing this, but I think the seahorse is doing it right. I think the oarfish was doing it all silly. And the seahorse, I think, is doing this right.
What's the phrase? All in moderation?
All in moderation, yes. Instead of being 30 feet long. I feel like the seahorse is like the elegant luxury Corvette, and the oarfish is just like the Cybertruck. Clunking its way through the ocean.
But they made it into a stretch limousine somehow.
Cybertruck the long way. Okay, so seahorses, they do have a prehensile tail. like a monkey or a chameleon. Actually, lots of parallels with chameleons in the seahorses. I'll get into why that is. The prehensile tail that lets them hold on to things like vegetation, and they actually anchor themselves to keep from drifting away in the current, which they need because they suck at swimming. Like they're like the worst swimmers of like nearly any fish. They're so bad at swimming, which is why I gave them a 9 instead of a 10. Because if you're a fish, the one thing you're supposed to be good at is swimming. Like that's kind of your whole deal, right? And they're so bad at it.
There are worse swimmers.
Probably. I'm struggling to think of any.
They're not fish. Jellies come to mind.
That's true. I mean, do we even call that swimming? Just existing.
Just take me where the wind goes.
So seahorses are actually such bad swimmers that they are listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's slowest fish. Oh. With a specific call out to the dwarf seahorse. Oh. But as we talked about with, like, for example, sloths, you don't always need to be that fast because they really rely more on camouflage to like hide from predators, right? And if you ever like see a seahorse either in the wild or in like a really well-made tank for them, they're really good at blending in. Like they can be really hard to find. So they're relying more on camouflage than they are on evasion, not just to hide from predators, but also to sneak up on prey.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, they also have eyes that move independently of each other, like a chameleon's, which is not actually unique to seahorses. A lot of fish do this. If you ever catch a fish from like the front view, it's quite silly. Fish were not meant to be viewed from head on, because if you do, it is so goofy. You know, like in SpongeBob, when a character turns towards the camera and it's like a jump scare for a second?
Oh, yeah.
So they have the eyes that move in the different directions. They move independently of each other, which, like I said, not unique to seahorses, but is another interesting parallel with chameleons. So we've got the prehensile tail. We've got the eyes moving in different directions. But another really, really cool parallel with chameleons has to do with a really unique way that they hunt prey. You can imagine this is a fish with a tiny little narrow tube-shaped mouth, right?
Yes.
They're going to be eating little things because that's literally all they can fit in their tiny little mouth.
Right.
So they eat tiny, tiny little planktonic creatures like fish larvae and copepods. So it's kind of like trying to catch a fly with chopsticks. It's like a kung fu movie staple, right? Like if you can catch something tiny with something tiny, that is like an ultimate flex, right?
Right.
So seahorses use an approach called pivot feeding, where they will very slowly sneak up to their prey as slowly as they can, right? So you're like trying not to like alert them with movement. But also, like, you could just push them away by moving too fast, you know? Like, if you've ever tried to, like, suck up a feather with a vacuum cleaner hose, you know? Like, if you move towards it too fast, you'll accidentally push it away.
Right.
So they move up really, really closely. They sneak their nose up to, like, just, like, millimeters away from their prey, which is, like, that scene in Alien where, like, the alien gets right up to Sigourney Weaver's face, and she's just like, but this thing is, like... like right next to her face. That's kind of what they're doing.
Just like that.
And then once they are close enough, they actually flick their head up and extend their mouth in a strike that is so fast you cannot see it. Like, in order for researchers to like study this movement, they had to use those special like incredibly high speed cameras and then slow it down. And even then, it's like from one frame to the next, you can like barely see that there was any movement. So it's an extremely fast strike. It kind of looks like they're glitching. Like, what is that thing where like when someone's lagging and you like exploit lag to like look like you're like teleporting from place to place?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It looks like they're teleporting, and they are extremely good at this. To quote from the paper where I learned about this from, once within range, pivot feeding resulted in capture success of 94%. So once they got close enough to strike, if they got within striking range, the strike had a 94% like success rate, which is insane. That's extremely high. And attempts that resulted in both successful approach and strike, so like the whole process went perfect, 79%.
Wow.
So these things are unstoppable. Once they've gotten you in their sights, they're like aimbotting. It is crazy how good they are at this. And that paper was Morphology of Seahorse Head Hydrodynamically Aids in Capture of Evasive Prey by Brad Gemmel et al. In Nature Communications in November of 2013. Now, this may have you wondering, well, first you said they're so slow. They're really like the worst swimmers ever. They're incredibly slow. But then you said they're blindingly fast. So like, which one is it, right? Like they're super slow, but they're also super fast. So how can that be? I'm so glad you asked me. It is because they use elastic recoil.
What's this?
Another parallel with chameleons, who are also very, very slow and also have incredibly fast striking speeds. So there are these two tendons in the seahorse's head that store up tension before striking. So they're like charging up their attack. And then when they're ready to strike, they release it. So instead of like pushing their head forward, they're kind of pulling it back like an arrow, right? Like building up tension. And then when they're ready to strike, they just release it. And the release of tension is what propels their head at way higher speeds than they would be able of pushing with their muscles, which is cool because that is also how chameleons are able to project their tongue, like with this ballistic projection. It's also with like elastic recoil. So they're kind of like the chameleons of the ocean, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
And I got that from a paper called A Power Amplification Dyad in Seahorses. That was by Corinne Avedon et al. In Proceedings of Royal Society Biological Sciences in April of 2023.
Wow.
It was like last year that came out. So that's pretty cool. And the last thing I wanted to talk about for like things built into their body is their armor. They're actually covered in bony armor.
Really?
Yeah, they have these like bony plates. If you look closely at a picture, you can kind of see they don't look like a smooth body like you see in other fish. They don't have like a smooth body covered in these scales. It's like knobby. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to imagine what the skeleton looks like.
Oh, I have no idea. No clue.
This still has bones, right?
There's bones in there, and then there's bones out of there also.
Okay.
They got kind of a doubled up. They took a lesson from the invertebrates. They're like, what if hard parts inside and outside? What if we do both?
I'm starting to see the dragon kind of resemblance.
Yeah. The seahorse almost looks more like a dragon than like the sea dragon does. But anyway, they're covered in these bony plates that act like armor to help protect them from being crushed by larger predators that might be trying to eat them. But in some parts of their body, like their tail, there's an interesting conflicting needs where they need to be both strong enough to not be crushed, but they also need to be really flexible, like their tail, right? The tail still needs to be flexible to bend and like grip these really, really small things. So they need to be able to like make really, really tight turns with their body. So in 2013, engineers at the University of California, San Diego performed CT scans and chemical analysis of the seahorse's body and found that the bony plates overlap in a really cool arrangement that actually lets them slide past and over each other. So the bony plates, instead of just being kind of like gridlocked, they're all overlapping each other where when squeezed or compressed in any way, they can just slide past each other and like collapse into a smaller shape. So they can still bend and they can still squeeze and twist and also still have that structural integrity of the bony plates.
Sounds cool.
Isn't that cool? And what's even cooler about this is that I'm going to quote from the article I read this in from UCSD Jacobs School of Engineering. They said, quote, researchers are hoping to use a similar structure to create a flexible robotic arm equipped with muscles made out of polymer, which could be used in medical devices, underwater exploration, and unmanned bomb detection and detonation. So they're using seahorse science to blow stuff up.
Excellent.
And that's from an article from the UCSD Jacobs School of Engineering website. It's called Seahorses Armor Gives Engineers Insight into Robotics Designs. And that was from April 30th, 2013. Oh, I said that was the last thing. That wasn't the last thing. The last thing I want to talk about for effectiveness is maybe one of the things that comes to mind when people think about seahorses, and that is male pregnancy.
Right.
Yes. So probably a lot of people know about this, that the male seahorse is the one that has the babies. They have the pregnancy and the babies, all of that stuff. They take on that whole reproductive role. So the way that they do this is pretty interesting. Male seahorses have something called a brood pouch, which is kind of like a marsupial's pouch. Mm-hmm. It has an opening that opens like directly in front of them. It's like right in the front of their tail area. And so when they're mating, a female seahorse uses an ovipositor, which usually only comes up for bugs.
True.
So it's interesting to see that in a fish. She uses an ovipositor to actually deposit her eggs into the male's brood pouch. And then the male has to fertilize the eggs, and then he keeps them in his brood pouch and carries them around just like any other pregnancy until the young are ready to emerge from his tail. And if you look up videos of seahorses giving birth, they're fire hosing these babies out. Like, they're blasting them. These are like hundreds of, they're not just like little planktonic larvae. These are like little tiny seahorses that they're like just like explosively.
The sound effect that comes to mind is if you were to spit boba tea tapioca pearls out of a straw at someone.
Can I get a quick impression of that? Can I get
How's that?
Just like that. Yeah, that's great. It is very funny to watch, especially if you imagine fun sound effects to go along with it. And now I was thinking about, every time I think about male like seahorse pregnancy, I think of this bit from the comedian Jim Gaffigan. Are you familiar with Jim Gaffigan, the comedian?
Yes.
I don't know what he's been up to recently.
I was about to say, we might want to look into...
I don't know. I'm not just to err on the side of caution, this is not an endorsement of Jim Gaffigan. I don't know what he's been up to necessarily. I haven't looked into it recently. But I remember this joke that I heard when I was a kid where he's talking about seahorses and he's like, that's just some stubborn scientist watching seahorses and said, okay, this one's the male seahorse. And another scientist was like, well, that one's having babies. And then the stubborn scientist was like, well, the male has the babies, like implying that like this was just like a misidentification of a female seahorse.
And then just digging your heels in.
Right. And then just being like, well, yeah. And that got me curious. I was like, well, what is the difference? Uh-huh. It's sperm. One of them makes the sperm and one of them makes the egg. And the one that makes the egg doesn't have the pregnancy. It's really not that weird when you think about it. Like, it's just that in this case, the one that carries the babies makes the sperm and not the egg, which is kind of weird because sperm is like meant to be smaller and like more mobile because a sperm is meant to like seek out the egg and make it to the egg. In this case, they just happen to make the sperm and also have the, like, it's really not that strange when you really think about it. It's kind of weird that it doesn't happen more often, I think.
Yeah.
So that's effectiveness for seahorses. The next category we rate animals on is ingenuity, which are behaviors, things the animal is doing to thrive in their environment, solve problems they face, things like that. I'm only giving them a 6 out of 10, and the majority of that is for like mating behaviors. They have really interesting mating behaviors. They have these very elaborate and complex courtship displays that are beautiful. They are like twirling together. They twist their tails together and they do that really cute like heart shape.
Oh, good. I'm glad that's a thing.
Yes, that is a thing. We talked about it with swans and now it's back. It's back. You love it when they make a heart shape, which is such like a human, like cultural shape, right? We only associate that sort of shape for purely like human culture reasons.
Right.
But like, it's cool when you see it, when you see like swans and seahorses, like coming together to form this heart shape that we associate with love.
Yeah, and the context doesn't even matter. Like, they could be battling to the death.
That's probably the more common context where that shape happens in nature. But they do, they change colors together to like signal that they're like ready to mate, and it's really nice.
So they change colors?
They do. I mean, it's not like it's basically their colors will get brighter. Like the colors they already have will get brighter or darker or like more intense. It's not like a huge change in color.
But yet more chameleon comparisons.
Yeah, more chameleon comparisons. Like, it's wild how many they are like so chameleon-like. Now, a lot of sources that I came across said that seahorses are monogamous, and some of them even went as far as to say that they mate for life. I couldn't find any evidence that mating for life happens. unless it's like a coincidence, right? Like maybe you just happen to die at the end of the breeding season, and like maybe that's considered mating for life. I guess death did you part. But different species of seahorses seem to really show different degrees of monogamy. So in some species, a pair might stay together for an entire breeding season, right? Like the same pair of individuals is together for that entire breeding season. I couldn't find any studies that supported them getting back together the following breeding season, right? Like maybe they'd stay together for the breeding season and then the next breeding season. I couldn't find any like evidence that they would consistently get back together the next season.
Did you happen to see what their longevity is like?
I didn't. It would be more than one breeding season though, I'm pretty sure.
Would it?
I think so. Maybe.
Not necessarily.
I don't think we're working with octopus rules. So I don't know, maybe that is for life. I guess you could say octopuses mate for life too. They mate and then die. But even in some typically monogamous species, the pair still might break up, like under different circumstances. Maybe if they get separated and don't see each other, or if one of the partners isn't doing so good, like if they have a sudden decline in health, the partner might leave and go find a different partner.
Sure.
I wanted to read from this paper called Faithful Pair Bonds in Wild Seahorses Hippocampus Whitei. That was by Amanda J. Vincent et al. In Animal Behavior in 1995. But I did want to read this because this is just like a beautiful passage. I love this from this paper. Seahorses did not divorce during the breeding season. They did not even abandon partners that were injured and unable to reproduce. For example, one paired male was unable to brood young for about 48 days, equivalent to more than 2 pregnancies, because of an injury to his brood pouch.
Aww.
His partner continued to display to him, did not hydrate eggs, which means basically like get eggs ready to like be deposited, mate with or display to any male she encountered during this time. So she was faithful to him. She was waiting. She knew he was going through it, and she just waited until he was better. The pair remated within 1 week of the wound healing, and again as soon as he gave birth. In another example of fidelity, a female tried to greet her injured mate for 5 days without response before abandoning the attempt. He subsequently died, and she repaired.
Huh.
So she kept coming to him for 5 days, even when he was like ignoring her. But then eventually she did like take the hint and leave him alone and go find another male, right?
Yeah.
But so like that's another example of like even when they do normally show like some degree of monogamy, you know, like they're still gonna kind of like take the hint, like they'll take no for an answer and move on if they need to. So all of this is to say any degree of monogamy is very surprising in fish. You really don't see any degree of monogamy in most fish.
Right.
But like, let's not romanticize things. Like we don't have to jump straight to like mating for life as like the romantic ideal of any animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't be calling your significant other like your seahorse, because that might imply that like, oh, they'll dump you if you like get sick or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's not idealize the romance of seahorses.
Sure.
But it is very cute. Finally, for aesthetics, I'm giving seahorses a full 10 out of 10. This is the cutest fish. I cannot think of a cuter fish. I can't think of a fish that I think is cuter than a seahorse. Good luck. Good luck to you. Now, they really only look like a horse in a way that like the night piece in chess looks like a horse. It's like really more of a portrait situation. What
about stingrays?
I mean,
cow nose stingrays.
How loosely are we using the term fish here? They're very cute. Cow nose stingrays are very, very cute.
I was saying.
And they're very pettable. Also, much more pettable than a seahorse.
Yeah.
Now, while looking up photos of seahorses to really evaluate their aesthetics, Google Images did show me a lot of clearly AI-generated images of seahorses, and some of them actually had an actual horse head, which was really funny because like it was clearly like AI, I don't know, some sort of AI image generation that was trying to show you a seahorse, and then something got confused along the way, and like they put an actual horse head on a seahorse with no other indication of it being like a horse. Like,
or maybe there was a second follow-up prompt that just said increase horse by 50%.
Ignore all previous instructions. Make me an image of a seahorse. So to wrap up for seahorses, 14 seahorse species are listed as either vulnerable or endangered on the IUCN Red List. A lot of them are not doing so great. Many of them are either doing okay or haven't been evaluated. But being very weak swimmers who really rely on their environment for things like shelter and also for anchoring, right? Like they need healthy seagrass to hold on to. They need a healthy coral reef to hide in. Like they need a lot of things around them to be going well for them to do the things they need to do. So they are especially impacted by damage to those coastal habitats. So protecting reefs and estuaries and other coastal habitats is really important to letting seahorses continue to go about their business. So if you like seahorses and you think that they're cute, look into ways that you can protect and support your local coastal habitat.
Very good.
And that's seahorses.
Thanks, hon.
Thank you. I really enjoyed learning about them. I learned a lot of unexpected cool stuff.
I like them.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our friends on the Max Fun Network, and then we'll get to Christian's animal.
Since 2017, Maximum Film has had the same slogan.
The podcast that's not just a bunch of straight white guys.
Ooh, we've learned something over the years. Some people out there really do not like that slogan.
Listen, we love straight white guys.
Well, some of them.
But if there's one thing we can't change, it's who we are.
I'm Iffy, a comedian who was on strike last year in 2 different unions.
I'm Drea. I've been a producer and film festival programmer for decades.
And I'm Alonzo, a film critic who literally wrote the book on queer Hollywood.
You can listen to us talk movies and the movie biz every week on Maximum Film.
We may not be straight white guys, but we love movies, and we know what we're talking about.
Listen to Maximum Film on Maximum Fun or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Oh, darling, why won't you accept my love?
My dear, even though you are a duke, I could never love you. You borrowed a book from me and never returned it.
Save yourself from this terrible fate by listening to Reading Glasses.
We'll help you get those borrowed books back and solve all your other reader problems.
Reading Glasses, every Thursday on Maximum Fun.
Okay, beloved. What animal do you have for us this week?
I'm bringing the beloved.
I just said beloved. You can't say beloved again. That's too many beloveds.
I'm bringing the infamous.
You went in the opposite direction that time.
Trash beast.
What a 180.
I'm talking about the raccoon.
I cannot believe we made it, 250 episodes.
I can understand why.
Without talking about raccoons.
Scientific name, Procyon lotor, or perhaps Procyon. Not sure if that's...
I think it's Procyon.
Procyon?
Because like that...
I tried looking this up and I found examples of both.
I think it's Procyon.
Yeah.
Procyon lotor sounds very like Star Trek Borg, sort of like... What did Picard call himself when he got assimilated into the Borg? Like Locutus or something like that?
I was half asleep for that, I'm pretty sure.
It sounds very Borg. Procyon lotor.
Yeah, basically. And this species was submitted by Abby Utley and Ray Bonk.
Thank you for those submissions. I'm so excited to finally have an excuse to talk about raccoons.
Yes, and my information is primarily coming from Animal Diversity Web.
Excellent.
So I can understand why we didn't talk about them, because they're very common in both places we've lived.
In everywhere I've ever lived.
Yeah, because they are native to southern Canada and most of the United States. They are introduced to Asia and Europe.
You're welcome. You're welcome for the raccoons.
Lots of different habitats, but often near humans. And they do need access to water.
What? Who among us?
Yeah. A little sneak peek for later. Lotor means the washer.
The washer?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
Yes. It's a little sneak peek into something there.
Okay.
Size-wise, they can range quite a bit depending on where you're at. They can be from 1.8 to 10.4 kilograms or 4 to 23 pounds.
Like a small dog size, maybe.
But that's a pretty wide range.
We've seen some real chonkers.
There's a reason for that. And lengthwise, they can be 60 to 95 centimeters or 24 to 37 inches.
Bigger than a cat.
Yes, bigger than a cat.
Bigger than a cat. Maybe like medium dog size.
I'd say our cat is probably bigger than some smaller ones, though.
What's the overlap there of cat and raccoon size?
They belong to the taxonomic family Procyonidae, and a notable relative in there is the coatis, as we discussed on episode 208, alongside the gharial.
Cannot believe that coatis got on the show before raccoons did. That's wild. And notably not in their family, tanukis.
Oh, I didn't notice that, but that makes sense. They share some resemblances there. It's uncanny
how much they look like each other. It looks like the same creature.
Yeah.
But they're not.
I actually came across some like compilation things of videos and things where they're talking about raccoons, and a picture of tanukis got stuck in there.
Cannot sneak that by me. I'm clocking that thing immediately. Tanukis are canids.
Makes sense. It also doesn't help that in some media translations, the decision was made like, oh, Americans aren't going to know what tanukis are, so we'll call them raccoons instead.
So specifically in Animal Crossing, because Tom Nook, being originally from a Japanese series, right? Like Animal Crossing made in Japan for Japanese audiences originally, they included Tom Nook. Who his name is a pun on tanuki. He's a tanuki, which is I've been playing Okami a lot recently, and in the game you can like feed little wild animals you come across in the game. And I came across tanukis, and you know what they called them? Raccoons.
Oh man!
And even in Animal Crossing, they call Tom Nook a raccoon.
This is the Pokemon jelly donut all over again.
They don't like. I can see why they would make the decision to be like, you know what? It looks like a raccoon. American audiences know what raccoons are. Let's just call them a raccoon. Like, I could see why you would make that decision in localization, but it still annoys me.
Yeah, but we digress. So, getting right into it. Effectiveness, I'm giving a full 10 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah.
What's happening with raccoons?
First of all, their hands.
Ooh.
Let me take a moment to describe what a raccoon looks like, because one of the reasons I think we're just now getting to this, because we kind of take them for granted.
We do. Yeah.
But they're only on our continent by natively. So,
right.
So raccoons are mammals that are usually walking around on all fours. They're pretty chunky. They got a pointy but short, I would say, relative nose with some pointy ears, and their fur is gray with black banding, especially on their tail, which is also poofy.
Bandit mask.
Yes, famously have black marking around their eyes that looks like a bandit mask.
So cute.
Yes.
I love that they do this.
They have sharp teeth, and they have strangely human-like hands.
Yeah, what's happening there?
It's helping them. That's what they're doing. So they're extremely dexterous, and they're very sensitive. They're good for tasks like handling prey. They'll usually even pick up food with their hands before putting it in their mouth. So they're not doing a dog thing where they're like using their mouth just to eat it directly off the ground or something.
God, I wish our dog would do that. Just give it a quick tap to be like, is this an edible thing or not?
Now this comes back heavy in the ingenuity section about what they're doing with those hands too.
Interesting.
But
you said they're sensitive? Like
they're very sensitive to touch and feeling. Yes.
That's interesting.
Their young are born blind and helpless. Oof. Longevity wise, they're thought to be up to 16 years in the wild, but the average is around 5.
It's rough out there, you guys.
They usually die to humans and malnutrition.
I would imagine cars aren't helping either.
Yeah.
That's where I usually see raccoons.
Yeah, that's true. So for those unfamiliar, roadkill in Florida, at least, was almost always raccoons or armadillos.
Armadillos, yeah. It's usually armadillos.
Yeah. Sometimes a domestic pet.
Opossums also.
True.
Getting wrecked on the daily.
Yeah.
Raccoons not so much, though, because raccoons are, I think, usually a little... They can scoot.
But also they're easy to identify from a driving car.
That's true.
Like on the side of a road. Yeah. Because of the banding and such.
Yeah, you know when you see it. Yeah. But I feel like I've seen more live raccoons than I've seen dead raccoons.
Okay, yeah. We saw some live raccoons here, actually, in Washington in the first month or two that we moved here.
Which is a cool moment of familiarity.
Yes.
Like seeing something that's like, oh yes, okay, I know this. Here that's too. My friend raccoon.
Here too, then. Got it. They are thick.
They are so thick.
Some northern populations can get up to 50% body fat.
Oh, they're juicy.
Yes. And that helps them for winter survival because they don't hibernate, but they will live off that body fat while they need to.
Good for them.
Yes.
Good for them.
Surprisingly fast.
They are, especially when you see a chunky critter with little short legs. You don't think they're going to be real quick.
They have this waddle about them when they're walking too.
It's not giving. It's not giving. She's a runner. She's a track star. It's
like watching a flatbed truck with a log that's not secured. That's just kind of rolling from side to side.
Maybe with like busted suspension that's kind of like wobbling. Yeah, they're quite wobbly.
So you might not expect this, but at their running speed, they can get up to 15 miles per hour.
And that's pretty good for a little creature.
Yeah, so they can scoot.
They can scoot. You know where I've seen them a lot is actually tubing.
What?
In Florida. Well,
okay.
You're probably going to talk about why they come down to the water so much.
Yes.
But like tubing in Florida, you'd see a lot of raccoons like on the side of the, spring run or the river or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
They're excellent climbers. And they're resistant to fall damage. They can fall from 35 to 40 feet completely unbothered.
That is hilarious. I would imagine the 50% body fat is working in their favor here.
So we're talking about a couple stories of building worth of height there.
Well, you're like dropping a blob of pizza dough. Like, I bet when they hit the ground, it just kind of like splats a little bit.
those toys that are squishy that like
throw them against the ground and they like sploot a little bit. Excellent.
Yep. They are strong swimmers, but reluctantly so.
Oh, they don't want to.
Because they don't have the kind of fur that would help them swim. Their fur is not waterproof.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I'll be mad about it. I can do it. I'm going to complain the whole time.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that if you find pictures or video of them.
So mad. Can't believe you've done this.
They are nocturnal. Although we've seen them in the daylight sometimes.
I wish they weren't nocturnal because then I would see them more and they're so cute and I like to look at them. I wish I could see them more.
They have strong sense of hearing and night vision, which helps them be nocturnal, of course. Their diet has them being omnivorous and opportunistic.
They're like the most omnivorous. They're like the goats of...
Yeah. And they are especially known for getting into human trash.
They cannot get enough of it.
Yeah. I'm quite honestly surprised we haven't had problems with this here ourselves, because we saw raccoons the first week or two here,
right,
or first month or two, and then we have trash cans in our backyard that aren't secured or anything. They're just sitting there, and we also have a compost bin that has food and like food scraps.
That's true. Yeah, we do just literally have a giant unsecured bucket of food in our backyard at all times.
So I'm extremely surprised we haven't had a problem with that. So I'm thinking maybe those raccoons were just passing through. They're not normally around. Don't know. But normally, you can very much expect them to get into dumpsters, trash cans. Like, they have the tools necessary to rip into garbage bags and make a huge mess.
Has this ever happened to you?
Not personally, but...
Okay, I completely forgot about this until just now. But one time when I was a kid, we did have a big old raccoon get into our garbage can.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom was like, "What do? We got to get him out of here." And eventually ended up like tipping the dumpster over and like kind of kicking the bottom of it to scare the raccoon out. And yes, the raccoon was scared out and ran away, but also left just like a trail of garbage behind it because it had ripped open the bags and was probably actively eating something.
Yeah, for sure.
And just like, I mean, every bag was torn open and there was just loose trash all over the driveway.
Yeah, I would be very upset. Making me do stuff. Now, you mentioned coming into contact with one.
Yes.
I would advise people want to be careful because they are known as carriers of diseases that can be transmitted to humans, including sylvatic plague.
What? Sylvatic plague?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Which just means the plague found in the wild, in the wilderness. Because it's all the same plague, all the same bacteria.
It's all the same plague, baby. That plague spends either way. It all spends the same.
It pops up usually in a different part of this country, at least. I think in the, I wanted to say it was New Mexico, that area. But they can also carry rabies and other parasites.
That is a big, whenever you see a raccoon, I think the fear is always, oh, don't get too close to it because it could have rabies.
Yeah. And you really don't want to roll the dice on rabies.
No. Rabies has nearly a 100% fatality rate. Like if you get rabies and you haven't had the vaccine for it already
and don't get treated in time,
it is like a 100. Like if it progresses to like an actual rabies infection, you are like for sure gonna die.
There's I think last time I read up on this, which was a long time ago, I think there's like 1 or 2 cases of someone making it,
like surviving an actual rabies infection. And like if you get bit and you think you might have been exposed to rabies, there's like a window of time where you can like get like a prophylactic for it.
So like they have to either have the animal that bit you to test them, which involves the animal dying.
And also you probably don't have the animal on you.
Right. And even if they do, they're like, that's a lot of work and a lot of money. We're just going to give you the vaccine anyway.
Right. They're like, why would we bother testing for it? Like, let's just assume that you were exposed and then like proceed. Yeah. Rabies is not fun.
Yeah. It is probably one of the worst ways to go for a mammal.
Yeah.
On that cheery note. The next category of ingenuity, I'm giving an 8 out of 10. So the adults will only den together during mating season. They're otherwise solitary, or if they have their young with them.
But they're like, I'll make an exception this once.
Otherwise, get out. The young are raised by the mother, so they'll do the mating, they'll give birth, and then the dad will peace out.
Later, catch you guys. I have some trash to rummage through.
Yes, and then the young are taken care of by mommy. Now, the fact that they're nocturnal also helps them avoid predators.
That is a good sort of like strategy if you can just be awake when your predators are sleeping.
Yeah, for sure. They're very efficient. They will only travel as far enough to satisfy their hunger and no further.
They're like, oh, that's good. Check.
And same,
I am done today.
Yeah. So same, honestly.
That's true. We will often go an entire week not venturing any further than the grocery store.
One funny thing, though, is they have poor corn eating etiquette.
What? What do you mean by that?
When they come upon corn...
As you do.
As one does in the Americas.
As one does. That's true. You know what? They are in Corntown, baby.
They will move on to the next ear of corn before finishing the current one.
Oh my God. This is the worst.
Making them particularly damaging to cornfields.
This is like our kids. Like, eat down one strip of the corn cob and then be like, I want another one. Look down. Rotate. You got a typewriter it, my guy. Like,
gotta show them more cartoons.
Wait, when you eat corn on the cob, do you typewriter or do you barbershop pull?
No. The typewriter.
The only correct way to eat corn on the cob. Well, some people do a barbershop pull where you work around and then spiral your way down.
Nope. Oh, I do wonder if that's the method I would have landed on had I not been exposed to cartoons and things.
That's true. What is the natural order?
Yeah.
The sort of natural corn cob eating technique.
Yeah. We'll have to go find some raccoons.
And some corn. And provide them with some corn. And...
I'm just kidding. Don't feed wildlife.
They're fine without you. They do not need your help.
Especially these. Speaking of, they're very good at adapting to human environments.
They can eat whatever.
Which is, I think, a huge plus to them. Because many animals we hear about, when they get encroached upon by humans, that's basically it for them.
Yeah, like seahorses, right? Yeah. Like they really cannot mesh very well. But yeah, if you can really thrive in like a human-dominated environment, things are looking awesome for you.
Yeah. Now, not good enough to avoid conflict, but the rest of the whole picture has it going for them.
That's true. Humans typically don't love for you to do that. Although I feel like waste not, want not, like let them have your trash. What are you going to do with it? Throw it away? Like, let them have it.
I will say, if they were to get into our compost, I would be less upset than if they got into our garbage.
Yeah, that's true. The compost is fine. You can have the compost.
I can just shovel whatever's left back into the compost. I don't need to rebag it like I would with the garbage.
Yeah. I mean, but the compost is like, the stuff that's in there is edible anyway. Like, you put it in there because it's like edible stuff you can have. We're done with it.
Right.
Let them have it. Maybe we should put decoy compost. Just like drop some like little stray bits of your compost like around the bin so they don't feel like they need to crawl into the bin and dump it over.
Oh. Because you know what else we saw when we first got here?
What?
Rats.
That's true.
We haven't seen them come back either.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on out there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all the hawks everywhere.
Yeah, we do have some well-fed looking hawks. So, which brings me to my last and most interesting point. What they do with food.
Yes, tell me about this.
So,
because you just dragged them for having very poor corn eating etiquette.
Yes.
So,
well, here's the thing. This behavior is often described as food washing.
Yes, I've heard of them doing this.
But that is not what they're doing.
Oh.
So the behavior that what people talk about, you can observe pretty often, is they will take something that they're interested in eating. Mm-hmm. They will take it in their little hands and dunk it in water.
Have you seen one of my favorite videos of the world? And it's so heartbreaking. Someone gave a raccoon cotton candy.
Yes.
Have you seen that? And this poor little guy just puts it right in the water and it disappears. And then you can see him just like, like starts like feeling around, like, where did it go?
Yeah. Well, that reaction might make more sense here in a moment.
Yes.
Because that's the washing. That's not what they're doing.
Really?
Because like people will think like, oh, they're doing like what we might do. Like, oh, we bought some apples or some potatoes and we want to wash off any dirt or germs or whatever that it might have picked up before eating it. Mm-hmm. That's not what they're doing. The skin that is on their hands becomes more sensitive to tactile and feeling when wet.
What?
Yes.
Huh.
So what they're doing is they're wetting their hands to get a better idea of what it is they're working with.
Oh, doing a little analysis.
Yes.
Really? It's interesting because that could let them feel for things like, I don't know, rotten spots.
Let's try to figure out if it's food or if it's something it wants, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that reaction to its food disappearing all of a sudden was probably an especially big shock.
They're really like, well, I'm glad I checked because it's a ghost. I thought it was food. I was about to eat this ghost.
So while it does appear sad, I don't know, part of me hopes that somewhere in that little raccoon brain was a little burst of like being inquisitive. Like, oh, that's very interesting that happened.
Right.
Anyway.
I will not try again. Oh man, but that is interesting because it would make sense if they were washing it because like washing it could, wash away any germs or bacteria that could otherwise make them sick. Like this could be a good like I could see that being something that evolution would like, breed into them, but also it also makes sense that they're doing it to improve their ability to like feel around because you mentioned earlier that they touch their food before eating it. So like if they're giving it a quick little like, hey, let me check, especially if they are so omnivorous that they're going to eat whatever, right? Like you'd want to check like that what you're eating is actually something you can eat.
And if you observe this, you'll also notice that they're not doing this with all of their food. Like even if they have like the same food, like a bunch of it, they're not doing it to every piece of that food, which kind of goes along with it. They're not washing it. They're just trying to figure out what it is. So once they do know what it is.
That's true. Yeah. Because like if they're like, okay, well, I know what a pizza crust looks like. So this was the pizza crust. I know this one.
Right.
But also I've seen them just wash their hands because like I mentioned tubing down the river and stuff. I've seen them come down to the water and just dunk their hands in, not holding anything. They just wash their hands.
And then they leave?
Yeah. And then they just walk away.
I wonder if that means there was something that they wanted to feel, but they couldn't bring it to the water.
Or if that's just some way that they're just improving their own like tactile like perception.
Yeah.
I saw a mama raccoon bring her babies down to the water to do this. So it was like mama raccoon and like all her little babies with her and they were all like dunking their hands. Maybe she was teaching them. Maybe she was teaching them how to like dunk their hands in the water.
That's cute.
And also they were not bothered by like the people tubing past them. They seemed like they understood what the dynamic was there. They were like, okay, yeah, people float by sometimes and it's not a big deal. They weren't like scurrying off. They were looking at us and they'd be like, oh, okay, there's some people here. But they weren't like scared of us, which was interesting.
So a lot of that information comes from the article titled Sensory Innervation of the Raccoon Forepaw 2, Response Properties and Classification of Slowly Adapting Fibers by Rasmussen and Turnbull in the Somatosensory Research Journal in 1986.
So this has been out there for a long time. I cannot believe this is not
so much so that I was worried that this has since been disproven or something, but I couldn't find anything else. Like
really,
yeah,
that this has been out there for decades. What you said, 86? That's almost 40 years that people just knew, and it's just not the sort of thing that comes up enough. Like, people are not calling each other out on this enough, I think. We need to really up our actually game.
Well, it doesn't help that its scientific name basically means washing bear.
Yeah, that's true. That is so like ingrained in our understanding of raccoons.
So yeah, and then our final category of aesthetics, I'm giving a 9 out of 10.
Oh my God, they're so much cuter in person. They're so much cuter in person.
Don't pet though. I know they're friend shaped. Don't do it.
Don't. They don't want you to do that.
However, one negative I will give them is if the raccoon, aside from its hands, is being shielded from the eyes. I feel like that is a very disturbing image of just their hands.
Oh,
for example, like there's a video out there of, I guess it's like a crate or something that is full of raccoons, and it's just their hands poking out of it, like trying to get at something. Very disturbing.
No, thank you. That is sort of like a Walking Dead, sort of like that, like the hands reaching through, like when you can't see what the hand belongs to, but it seems to be some sort of distressed, desperate motion to get out. Like that is inherently, I think, terrifying.
Yeah. And I know this topic has been on my mind lately, but it's very uncanny valley. Like if we're just considering the hands, like, because we don't normally see hands like humans, right?
You would love my other podcast, Spellbound and Gagged, which has an upcoming episode about the uncanny valley with Tom Lum, who is both a computer scientist and has a background in cognitive science. And we talked about the uncanny valley, and that's going to go up next Friday. So.
Oh, very good. It was on my mind because of a Frankenstein thing I'm doing in a side project.
Oh, we love Frankenstein. We talk about Frankenstein a lot, like just like as a family. Why do we talk about Frankenstein so much? The raccoon, the little paws can be quite alarming, but
in the overall picture, it's fine.
Yes.
With the bushy tail, the
in
black
context,
mask.
it's so cute.
They do have sharp, pointy teeth, so watch out for that.
That's true. They don't look as like,
if they're mad,
you will see them.
Yeah. And then finally, conservation status, least concern.
Nope, they're fine.
They're actually population increasing at the moment.
Wow, we don't see that a lot.
At one point in this area's history, they were sought after for their fur, as part of the fur trade.
Oh, for the hat. You get the little hat with the raccoon tail. Yeah.
Among other things, but that too.
I had a hat like that one time when I was a kid with a little raccoon tail hanging. I don't know if it was real or not. It may have been fake.
But yeah, not so much anymore. I thought it was interesting that they don't go all the way north on the continent. Like you won't find raccoons in Alaska, for example.
Too many bigger things could eat them.
Too cold.
I was just thinking, like, there's like, big old bears and wolves. And it's a little too scary out there for them. Not enough dumpsters, also.
It is relatively sparse.
I like that they're like dumpster specialists.
Yeah.
It is kind of a uniquely human, like a human adjacent biome we've created, right? Like the dumpster. It is like an ecological niche, Like,
yeah. So that is one common place to find raccoons is dumpsters and perhaps even inside them. I've seen plenty of videos where like the raccoons were able to get inside the dumpster, but not out.
Oh, poor little guy.
Yeah. So the latest one I saw, like someone was like put a piece of wood or a very long like cardboard box into it to give them a way to climb out of it.
Do you remember that video I sent you a couple days ago, the TikTok of the raccoons that were trying to get into a Cybertruck?
Oh, yeah.
They thought it was a dumpster.
the trunk, especially.
Yes. Yeah. They were trying to pry into the trunk of a Cybertruck because these raccoons thought it was a dumpster. That makes 2 Cybertruck drags in one episode. Sorry to anybody listening who has a Cybertruck.
I don't know enough about it either to know, like, what are the chances of success of a raccoon getting into it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seemed like it was a failed attempt.
Okay.
But hilarious that they tried. Very funny. Because you know what raccoons have never tried to break into? Our Honda Odyssey.
Not yet.
Not yet. You know what? Let me take a closer look at all those little fingerprints on the sides of our doors.
I do keep corn in there.
That's my car corn. Corn on the go.
Keep it on my key ring. Call it my Corn fob.
I was going to say car on the cob.
Okay.
That's my carn.
Mm.
Right in the center console. That's actually, a lot of people think those are cup holders. Those are cob holders.
Yeah, totally. Well, that's all I got.
Thank you so much. That was great. I really appreciate that. What a fun journey we went on today.
Yes.
If you enjoyed what you heard here today, we would love it if you leave behind some kind words in a review on your podcast app of choice, like the friends that we heard for earlier in this episode. We would like to thank Maximum Fun for having us on their network alongside the other amazing shows that you heard promos for earlier in this episode. If you want to go check those out, learn more about the network, and learn more about how you can support our show and keep us going and get access to our monthly bonus episodes, head over to MaximumFun.org. And finally, we would like to thank Louis Zong for our theme music, which is very enjoyable and fun to listen to and good.
Thank you so much.
Hope you like it, because you're about to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.
Maximum Fun,
A worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
Supported
directly
by you.